Stop scrolling. Imagine London's historical elegance. Now crash it into a 22nd century sci-fi movie. That perfect, impossible collision is the signature of one man, Sir Alistair Finch. Today, we dive deep into the mind of Britain's most provocative architect, exploring how he crafts buildings that honor the past while defining the future of the modern cityscape. Finch didn't just build skyscrapers, he built dialogues between eras. He fundamentally believes that design should be cyclical, not linear. Growing up near the ruins of Roman Bath and witnessing the stark concrete modernism of post-war London shaped his dual vision. He trained initially in restoration, meticulously studying the proportions and strength of ancient Greek and Roman structures. But his passion quickly veered towards the impossible: how to make massive classical stone appear to float using technology. His initial concepts were controversial, sketches that looked like Corinthian columns erupting from glossy black titanium blocks. Critics called it visual anarchy. Others hailed it as the first true architectural movement of the digital age. Finch coined his style, temporal fusion, a commitment to timeless structure wrapped in cutting-edge skin. This philosophy required totally new engineering solutions, pushing material science to its absolute limits. Our first stop is the Crystalline Athenaeum, a library complex near the Thames, perhaps his most defining structure. From a distance, it looks like a colossal, multi-tiered Roman basilica, complete with a massive dome. But as you approach, you realize the marble is actually layered photovoltaic glass panels, shifting color based on the sun. The columns aren't stone. They are hollow, structural carbon nanotubes disguised to mimic ancient travertine. This building has virtually zero carbon footprint, generating more energy than it consumes, a hidden layer of genius. The central reading room is a breathtaking fusion of space and light, inspired by the Pantheon's Oculus. Except Finch's Oculus is a massive holographic projection screen displaying historical astronomical charts. Look closely at the cornices. They follow precise golden ratio measurements, a tribute to ancient mathematical precision. Yet these cornices are embedded with microscopic sensors monitoring atmospheric quality in real time. The visual effect is stunning, a classical temple that feels like it could lift off and achieve orbit. Visitors report a strange sense of temporal displacement when standing inside the atrium. Finch designed the building to evoke respect for history, not just nostalgia, but functional memory. The staircase, resembling a classic grand spiral, is actually powered by a silent magnetic levitation system. It's the perfect blend, the gravity of history meeting the anti-gravity of technology. It challenges the eye and the intellect. It forces you to question what modern even means anymore. How does he achieve this seamless blend? It starts with bespoke materials that simply didn't exist a decade ago. Take smart concrete. It self-heals microfractures using embedded biological polymers activated by moisture. This allows him to use ultra-thin sections, achieving that impossible floating appearance on massive blocks. Then there's the chameleon glass, which can mimic the texture of polished granite or rough sandstone instantly. This is controlled via a centralized AI system that optimizes insulation and light penetration based on weather forecasts. He uses 3D printed metal alloys derived from aerospace technology to craft intricate, historically accurate detailing. These metal lattices provide immense strength while drastically reducing the overall weight of the structure. Finch often employs structural exoskeletons, common in futuristic design, but disguises them with neo-Gothic tracery. It's like hiding a supercomputer inside an antique grandfather clock. The functionality is hidden by the artistry. His use of light is also revolutionary. He abandoned traditional floodlighting for integrated fiber optics. At night, the buildings glow from within, emphasizing structural lines reminiscent of ancient ruins under moonlight. This detail ensures that even the most advanced techniques serve the aesthetic goals of timeless grandeur. Every arch and vault is calculated not just for load bearing, but for optimum acoustic properties, a forgotten classical skill. He even consults historical stonemasons to ensure the digital models retain the weight and visual integrity of true masonry. This commitment to traditional proportions, even using alien materials, is the key to his success. Next, let's look at the controversial Floating Pantheon, a commercial hub in Canary Wharf. This building appears to defy gravity, a vast dome resting on 4 slender inverted pyramids. The dome itself is reminiscent of St. Paul's Cathedral, majestic and imposing, covered in highly polished mirror steel. However, the underside of the dome is lined with massive LED screens that display dynamic cloud-like patterns. When the screens are active, the dome seems to lift off, reflecting the sky and disappearing into the atmosphere. The inverted pyramids are the structural core, housing advanced HVAC systems and vertical transport tubes. These cores are clad in brutalist concrete, softened by integrated hanging gardens and cascading waterfalls. It's industrial force meeting natural serenity, contained within a classical silhouette. Inside, the offices are circular and open plan, designed specifically to encourage non-hierarchical interaction. Finch often emphasizes the societal impact of his design, believing architecture shapes behavior. The building integrates historical elements, like friezes, but they tell the story of data flow and connectivity, not mythology. This is where ancient storytelling meets the 21st century narrative of technology and finance. The Pantheon's roof garden offers an unparalleled view of London, a deliberate nod to ancient civic gathering spaces. It stands as a monument to London's power, rooted in history but aimed squarely at global digital commerce. The engineering required to balance this immense structure on 4 points took years of dedicated computational modeling. Unsurprisingly, Finch's work is polarizing. Traditionalists see it as a betrayal of classical purity. They argue that using synthetic materials to mimic marble undermines the honesty of architecture. Yet, the public engagement with these buildings is undeniable. They have become immediate, massive tourist attractions. People are fascinated by the visual trickery, the blend of the familiar and the utterly alien. Finch himself argues that classical architecture was always about using the most advanced materials available at the time. He sees himself as continuing that tradition, simply updating the toolkit for the Anthropocene era. His work forces architects to reconsider sustainability, not just in terms of energy, but in terms of timelessness. Can a building designed today still feel relevant 500 years from now? Finch aims for yes. Academics praise his meticulous geometric calculations, reviving mathematical concepts not seen since the Renaissance. Architectural critics now widely recognize him as the progenitor of the neo-futurist classical movement. His designs are expensive, demanding radical construction methods, but the lasting cultural return is massive. The challenge for contractors is immense, blending old-world craftsmanship with robot-assisted precision engineering. This synthesis requires totally retraining workforces and redefining collaboration across disciplines. He's not just building structures, he's creating jobs in fields that merge heritage and high-tech. His legacy is already cemented. He made us look at London's past and future simultaneously. Finch's influence isn't restricted to London. Cities like Dubai, Singapore, and New York are paying close attention. Global planners realize that purely functional glass boxes often fail to connect with human history or identity. Finch offers a solution: high functionality wrapped in deeply resonant cultural forms. He was recently commissioned for a major civic center in Seoul, designed to incorporate traditional Hanok rooflines into a hypermodern tower. This shows how his temporal fusion can be translated using different regional classical traditions. His methodology is now taught in top architectural schools globally, specifically the module on contextual transmutation. Students are learning to analyze classical forms mathematically, then re-render them using computational design tools. It encourages a deep respect for historical roots without being confined by historical limitations. This approach is vital for rapid urbanization in historically rich areas, allowing growth without cultural erasure. Finch insists that true innovation honors place and memory, making the future feel integrated, not imposed. Think about it. A city needs identity. A grid of sterile boxes offers none. Finch offers identity, amplified. He often speaks about the aura of antiquity needing to survive the digital revolution. This means designing spaces where people naturally want to congregate, similar to ancient Roman forums. His public spaces, always integrated with the buildings, are designed for maximum human interaction and minimum disruption. He is teaching the world that the past is a source of powerful, flexible design parameters, not just nostalgic limitations. What's next for Sir Alistair? He's moving into residential design, applying his principles to high-density housing complexes. Imagine living in a structure that looks like an ancient Roman villa, but provides instantaneous climate control and air purification. His upcoming project, the Terrace Temples, promises affordable yet architecturally profound community living. This project is focused on embedding shared, historically inspired gathering points within the futuristic housing framework. It addresses the modern problem of social isolation by physically designing spaces that demand communal interaction. Finch maintains a small, secretive studio, relying heavily on AI visualization and robotics for initial concept modeling. His team includes not only engineers and architects, but also classical historians and philosophers. He believes that true architectural breakthroughs happen when humanists and technologists collaborate deeply. Looking back at London's shifting skyline, Finch's contributions stand out not for their height, but for their conceptual density. They are monuments that demand interpretation, forcing observers to bridge the gap between memory and potential. He hasn't just built buildings, he has initiated a necessary conversation about cultural permanence in a transient world. His work ensures that London remains a city defined by its deep, multi-layered history, even as it speeds toward the future. The beauty of temporal fusion is that it's inherently optimistic. It assumes we deserve both past grandeur and future innovation. Sir Alistair Finch, the man who taught London how to build monuments that defy time itself. If you found this journey through Neo-London inspiring, hit that like button. Let me know which building you'd visit first in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates.